After you have gone through and selected all of the different potential keyword phrases that you want to target, so you have this list built over on the left-hand side of the screen. If you expand this just a little bit, you'll be able to see all of your different columns here. So you can see the keywords, the search counts, and I also find that the article in the keyword tags section is useful as well. What you want to do once you have your complete list, this is really just a partial listing that I have here for two different potential pages that I can build on a website. For a full Amazon site, you're likely going to have a listing that's a lot larger than this. One of the things that you can do to begin with is to sort your keyword phrases based on the different topics that you have. I had picked out some keywords for Apple or MacBook related phrases and also some for gaming phrases. So something that I can do to begin with is type in a common word that I know can be found in a lot of these phrases that's going to relate to one topic that I'm going to be covering on my site. So I'm going to type in gaming and hit the enter button. You can see here it refines my results to show me all of the keywords that have gaming in them. I'm going to select them now. I just click on the top one, and on Windows computers at least, you hold down the Shift button, and then I'm going to click on the bottom one to select all of them. When I have all of them selected, I'm going to go over to Info and Keyword Tags now. Down where it says Keyword Tags, I'm going to click on Create a New Keyword Tag, and I'm going to call this Gaming, and hit Enter. Now I have this tag that I can drag and drop up to the assigned keywords. So you can see once I do that, it adds the gaming keyword tag. So now if I clear my search, I can easily see which ones I have tagged and which ones I have not. If you need to sort this listing, you can do that to find the ones that you still need to work on. So going back through this list here, I see this one is related to gaming. I believe that's the only one. So for this one, I'm just going to click on the gaming tag, and I'm going to drag it up here, and so that also gets tagged with gaming. Now everything else that I have left over, since I only have two topics here, everything else has to do with the MacBooks or the Apple products. So I could call this one Apple. I'll drag that up, and so now I have every keyword categorized with a keyword tag. Once you get to this point where you have all of your keywords with a keyword tag, then you can type in a keyword tag up in this search box and be shown only the keyword phrases for a particular tag. With this done, if you wanted to then refine your results to eliminate some of these, you can actually blacklist certain phrases. So maybe I didn't want to do anything having to do with laptops, or maybe I decided the PS3 phrase wasn't right because I was just going to be targeting PCs. I could blacklist that phrase, and so it actually removes it from being shown for me. If I wanted to see blacklist phrases, I can show them here, or I can just see gray or even whitelist phrases. This allows me to further sort and organize the phrases within an individual keyword tag to get down to the phrases that I want to use within my article. So now I'm going to select all of my keywords that I want to use in my article, and I'm going to right-click on it and click on Create a New Article with these 12 keywords inside. So this opens up another section right here in the middle. You can collapse and get back to this through this little plus icon and the minus icon. So now I have an article created for this keyword phrase. And it automatically will apply a title and stuff to it, but you can easily change the information that is already given to it. What you want to do once you have articles created for your different tags is to go through your individual articles and actually begin creating your content. You click on the right content. Make this a little larger for you guys so my content is more in focus. I want to be able to see my content good here, and I also want to be able to see this listing. So when I'm in the right content tab, I have the different aspects of my article, such as the title up at the top, the URL, the meta description, and the actual content itself, as well as other extras like WordPress tags. This would really only be if you were creating a WordPress post. You would have tags provided down at the bottom. For normal WordPress pages, you don't even have to worry about that. It's just the top stuff and the editor. You may also notice on the left here, in this right content tab, that some of the words are now highlighted in green, red, or they're still black. Also on the right here, we have these different colored boxes. Some of them are red, some of them are green. The ones that are gray simply means that I haven't provided content yet. If I take an article that I write about this particular subject, and then I look back over here, anything that's in green indicates where in my content the title or the URL, you can see the T and the S right here, correspond to these areas, or the content is going to be down here, the C. When these light up green, that means that exact phrase is contained within that area of my article. However, if I look over here on the left, anything that's in green means it's contained somewhere within my article. It might just be in the content like this one. It might just be in the title like this one. Anything in red, though, means that that individual word can be found somewhere in my content. When you're going for a lot of these long tail phrases, things that may only have a low number of monthly searches for those phrases, you don't necessarily have to worry about having the exact phrase within your content. So it's okay if a lot of these are not showing up green. However, you do want to try to make sure you have all of the words at least somewhere within your article. So you at least want everything to be red or green. You want to try to not leave any black words showing within this list once you get your article and your title and everything written out. Also, you're likely not going to want to stick with the initial title that it provides for you. I might change mine to say something like best solid state drives for gaming PCs. Doing this, I've eliminated the exact phrase from actually being within the title. However, my title still contains a lot of these keywords within it. I have best, which can be found in a lot of them. I had solid state drives. I have gaming PCs. So this is highly relational to what I'm trying to target over here. The content itself is somewhere where you want to make sure you have all of your smaller words. Any words that I might be missing, for example, good, adding in some kind of a sentence that includes that word in it, as you can see, now eliminates that word and it turns it red. So simply having the words, all of them, for these phrases contained within your article, especially for your lower traffic phrases, can still get you search rankings because the rest of your content is about these subjects. And Google can relate a more generalized title where it's not the exact keyword phrase. In fact, Google is beginning to favor titles and things like this where it's not an exact phrase in favor of the uniqueness and the creativity of having an interesting title. So in addition to making sure that you have your targeted words represented within the actual content here, this can also be used as a guide to help you actually write your content. Let's say I don't have an article already written, and I'm just at this point where I have my keywords and my title and my URL figured out. So I know what my page is going to be about, but I don't know quite what I'm going to be saying in my content. This is a common place that a lot of people reach and they get hung up on, the actual writing part. What I like to do is to use my keywords as a guideline. If I look through my listing here, I can see a couple of general themes repeated in a number of these phrases. For example, I have the mention of PC and laptop. There might also be Macs would be another potential one, gaming for Macs. I also have things like SSD versus HDD. I have years. I have other phrases like best or good. So I can use this to give me a general guideline for what I should actually be writing to target all these different topics. So by simply listing out those general topics, best, for example, SSD versus HDD, I could maybe do a section on brands, PC and Mac, desktop and laptop. You can see how I'm ticking off a lot of these different words that are showing up in my listing. But not only that, when I go back through and I've kind of completed a general summary of a lot of these phrases into these summarized topics over here, I then have a really good guideline of what I can go by to write my article. So what I will do is go up to the very top and I'll put a summary of my topic here. You want to write this to be a couple of paragraphs in length, where basically you talk about what your overall topic is, a bit of an introduction to it, and also give a brief summary of what else they might be able to expect in the article. And you know that by looking at your other topics down here. So then you can expand on these topics to make them sound presentable for your readers. Instead of just having the word best, what is it talking about up here? Best gaming SSD. Or it could be picking the best SSD for gaming. So I'm still targeting my base subject here that I originally had, best, but it's a lot more appealing and readable to my user, and also helps me to target some of these additional phrases. You can see I actually ended up ticking off a number of these phrases in green by going through this process that I'm describing to you. So now I would continue on and have a more in-depth discussion about this subtopic. Once again, this is likely going to end up being a paragraph, maybe even a couple of paragraphs worth of text, however much is suitable for describing and talking about that topic. And then you simply continue on with all of your different subtopics here, each one commanding a new section of your content. Then you can go and actually create headers. You could set these as H3, something that I will do for WordPress websites in particular. You have the title of the page is often H1. You have the title of your website, often ends up being H2. And then I'll set these subtopics that are actually in my content here as H3. You could also do something like make them bold or underlined, whatever works best for your situation. So as you can see now, over here on the right, I have a basic outline of my entire article. And when you convert each of these single sentences right here into a couple of different paragraphs worth of text, you can see how you can easily turn a small amount of content like this into a fairly decent sized article. If I just take a couple of average sized paragraphs and provide it for each of these sections as I go through, this actually gives me a really decent sized article for an entire page on my site. So as long as I pick out my subtopics correctly according to my keyword phrases and then elaborate on those topics using these extra paragraphs of text, it could also be things like quotes or listing of information, whatever fits best with your subject. This can be a really easy way to actually go through and create all of your content. So you can do everything within this software from your research all the way up through your content writing.